Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 198 based on novel. So let's start. In Jinyao City, under the terrible energy storm, even Xiao Yang, who is the master, is also affected. After the energy storm dispersed, a painful groan came from the periphery of Jinyao City, near the city gate. At the foot of the city gate, two people, old and young, were all over here. It is Xiao Yang and Han Dong. After the relentless scouring of Buddha's anger lotus, even Xiao Yang and Han Dong are in a very poor state. In that terrible storm, Han Dong was almost seriously injured. Although he was a 5th-level herbalist, with the strength of his soul, he had blocked most of the impact, but after all, he was only a 7-star fighting emperor. Under the residual power of the energy storm, Han Dong was inevitably injured by the storm. Han Dong was nearly seriously injured, but Xiao Yang was even more dangerous at this time. After condensing the Buddha anger lotus, the fighting spirit in the latter was almost exhausted, and all her strength was consumed at the moment when the fire lotus exploded. If it wasn't for the only connection between herself and the Buddha anger lotus and the strong protection of different fire in her body, Xiao Yang would be difficult to survive. At the same time, on the other side, in the dark bottomless pit in the center of the city, several shadows flew out one after another. These people, May Day, are not high-level fighting emperors, and the weakest among them are not inferior to Han Dong. However, this group of people at this time did not look in good condition. Like Han Dong, these people were injured to varying degrees in the energy storm just now. Among these people, the most powerful are naturally the 6 6-star fighting emperors and 9-star fighting emperors from the Array Mage Association and Qin Yun. Of course, outside the battle circle far away from here, on the other side of Jinyao City, on the wall, a large number of strong fighting emperors are gathering here. These people are people who have nothing to do with the war. They have withdrawn from the war circle at the beginning of the war. However, even so, the ripple of terrorist energy caused by the explosion of Buddha's anger lotus also frightens these strong people. Among these people, the first two are LV Zhongtian, president of the auction house, and Wu Gang, vice president. Most of the energy ripples caused by the explosion of Buddha's anger lotus were blocked by these two people. Is he really just a 5-star fighting emperor? LV Zhongtian's face was dignified, and his bright eyes stared at the explosion of Buddha's anger lotus. His heart could not be calm for a long time. Wu Gang on one side also had a heavy face. How have they ever seen such a terrible 5-star fighting emperor? Although LV Zhongtian could gather this level of fighting skills, what shocked them was not only the terrible fighting skills, but also the people who created them. A 5-star fighting emperor, even if it is as strong as LV Zhongtian, can't exaggerate it. Can he compare with the young man in black robe? LV Zhongtian did not dare to imagine that such a proud son of heaven was the first time he had seen in so many years since he became famous. He could even imagine that in a few years, Xiao Yang's combat power would far surpass him. At that time, the western regions would be shocked by it. There is a giant in the western regions, which is growing rapidly. Unfortunately, it's too late for them to see this day. The young eagles have grown up and dance in the air. The western regions will become the stage for Xiao Yang to climb the peak. Bang! Near the ruins of the city near the battle circle, a dull loud noise suddenly came out. The wreckage of the building was forcibly blasted away by an arrogant force. Then, a figure flew out of it, and then fell heavily to the ground. Looking closely, this person was the 4th helmsman of the Array Mage Association, Cheng Jiahui. However, from the appearance of the latter at the moment, he has become a dead man. Waste. Cough. From the ruins where the figure flew out, there was a loud cry of abuse. Immediately, an embarrassed figure covered with blood climbed out of the ruins. When he looked up, the sun shone. His blood-stained face, coupled with his ferocious expression, looked quite frightening. However, it was recognized at a glance that this person had failed the previous sneak attack, Qin Yun, who was blown out by the North King. Qin Yun survived the energy storm through Cheng Jiahui, who was already seriously injured. This made Cheng Jiahui die, and he also fell into a state of serious injury. If Cheng Jiahui had not been seriously injured, he might not have ended up in such a field. Between heaven and earth, the breeze swept, the dust and smoke dispersed, and everything in the city became clear. After the Buddha's anger lotus just now, at least half of the people in Jinyaro city have died. The price of this war is not bad. However, this is the price of war. There will never be a winner. The so-called winner is just a person who escapes in the war and survives by chance. Cowards in the war, heroes after the event. In the void, Fan Siyuan's old face was pale and his eyes swept rapidly in the city below. He didn't believe that Xiao Yang would be unharmed in the energy storm just now. Even if he could do it, Han Dong, as the 7-star fighting emperor, could never retreat. Even his 9-star fighting emperor was injured. How could the latter be unharmed? Soon, Fan Siyuan's eyes locked on Xiao Yang at the foot of the city gate. At the moment, they were staggering towards the outside of the city gate. If you want to go, it's not that easy. Fan Siyuan endured the sharp pain from his body, moved his mind, mobilized the huge fighting spirit in the meridians, and quickly flew forward to stop the two people. Later, Qi Ming and Huolia kept up again. After this war, the concept of Xiao Yang in their hearts is no longer as simple as the 5-star fighting emperor. Who has seen the 5-star fighting emperor erupt this kind of terrorist force? Therefore, if Xiao Yang is immortal today, in the future, the latter will become a major threat to his Array Mage Association. Coupled with the alliance of herbalists standing behind him, their relationship is doomed to be an opponent and an enemy from the beginning. As for Yang He, after a week's inspection, they quickly returned to Qin Yun. Little Lord, please punish my subordinates for their ineffective protection of the Lord. The three of Yang He knelt down to Qin Yun with fear. Although Qin Yun's cultivation was not as good as theirs, the latter's means frightened them. Today they didn't protect the latter. Tomorrow, they may not be able to protect their head. Well, no wonder you. The most important thing now is to kill Xiao Yang. You must be quick. No matter what method you use, otherwise, my new accounts and old accounts will be calculated together. Qin Yun's pale face appeared as if he didn't care. As he spoke, there was an extremely vague killing intention in the depths of his eyes. Jin Yaro Cheng is at the gate of the city. At this time, several shadows are gathering here. Fan Siyuan 3 people once again blocked in front of Xiao Yang 2 people. In the distance, Yang He 3 people were flying here. Han Dong's face was dignified, and Xiao Yang was also pale. Although he had swallowed the pill, the situation in his body had not improved much. The only thing to be thankful for was that there was still the only fighting spirit in the cyclone in his body, which was the last strength Xiao Yang deliberately retained. Under the action of the pill, the fighting spirit was slowly recovering in Xiao Yang's body at this time. Xiao Yang clearly understood that although his Buddha Anger Lotus was powerful, it was unrealistic to face so many strong people at the same time. Therefore, from the beginning, he didn't think that Buddha Anger Lotus could solve the trouble. He just wanted to use it to consume the power of Fan Siyuan and others. From the results alone, Xiao Yang did, but he underestimated the power contained in the 9-star fighting emperor. Buddha's Anger Lotus really hurt them, but it can't completely affect the state of the 9-star duty. From the current situation, Xiao Yang and Han Dong still don't seem to withdraw from the previous situation. They are still facing 6 strong 9-star duty. Damn it, look down on them. He scolded with hatred in his heart. Xiao Yang's face was dignified. Unexpectedly, he still came to this step in the end. One side, Han Dong's footsteps moved and blocked Xiao Yang behind him. He looked at the 3 people opposite. In the rear, Yang He and his 3 people soon came near. Xiao Yang, I'll stop them later. Take the opportunity to leave here. Remember, don't look back. Suddenly, Han Dong's dignified words came into Xiao Yang's ears. The latter's face suddenly changed slightly. When he was just about to speak, Fan Siyuan and others on the opposite side spoke first. Xiao Yang, you have no way to go. I advise you that you'd better catch it without a hand. Otherwise, once we do it, you'll be dead. Huolai spoke coldly to Xiao Yang with a fierce face, and the killing opportunities were all shown in his words. It is obvious that at the moment, everyone present is full of fear of Xiao Yang. Now the only way to calm their hearts is Xiao Yang's death. If Xiao Yang didn't die, they were restless day and night. Cough. He coughed uncontrollably. Xiao Yang, with pale cheeks, walked forward with a smile despite Han Dong's obstruction. His eyes were full of sneers. He glanced at several people opposite him and said with a sneer, "Sorry, my bones are hard by nature and are not threatened. Therefore, if you really want my life, you'd better come by yourself. It's a death wish to have such sharp teeth and sharp mouth at the end of death." After drinking and scolding, Hulia immediately didn't hesitate. His body moved and rushed towards Xiao Yang. "If you want to hurt him, you'll pass me first." Han Dong gave a violent drink in his mouth and rushed forward with a dignified face, followed by a heavy collision with fire. Bang! The two collided. This time, a sneer appeared on the fiery face. As soon as the body shook, the power of terror poured out. One blow was to shake Han Dong out. Han Dong, the 7-star fighting emperor, is the 7-star fighting emperor. With fighting spirit, you can't even stop a move in front of me. It's a fool's dream to protect this dying man. Huolier burst out laughing, and immediately his body rushed forward again. In a twinkling of an eye, he had come to Xiao Yang's body. He grabbed his big hand forward and fell hard on Xiao Yang's head. "I said, if you want to hurt him, you must pass me first." But at this time, Han Dong, who was blown back by the fierce fire, suddenly turned red. At the same time, in his body, a powerful force also rushed out like a flame, rising like a flame, lighting up his whole person, like a star. His body blinked. In the blink of an eye, Han Dong came to Huolier's side and grabbed Huolier's wrist like thunder. "Drink!" With a violent drink, Han Dong grabbed the flaming arm and threw the latter's body out. After the fiery body retreated dozens of steps backward in the void, he stabilized his body, looked up and looked fierce in his eyes. Secret method, insect carving skill, see how long you can persist. At this time, Yang He and others also came near. The 6 9-star fighting emperors looked at Han Dong at the same time. A fierce fighting spirit rose from the 6 people's bodies. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the field became extremely tense. "Xiao Yang, I'll hold them now. Go quickly." Taking advantage of this short gap, Han Dong said to Xiao Yang again, "No, it's too dangerous to face 6 9-star fighting emperors at the same time. I can't ignore you. I can't go. Even if I want to go, I have to go together, otherwise. Don't talk nonsense, you boy. As the vice president of the Herbalist Alliance, they dare not really kill me, but if you continue to stay here, they will try their best to kill you. What's more, you are still seriously injured. If you don't leave, you will only become a burden to me. I won't last long. If you want to leave, you can only leave now." Without waiting for Xiao Yang's words to spit out, Han Dong hurriedly interrupted it. At this time, Fan Siyuan and others opposite suddenly shot and planned to solve the 2 people in front of him at one fell swoop. Damn it! The heart is unwilling to drink and scold. Although Xiao Yang is dissatisfied, he also knows that the state on the field at the moment can't tolerate his half-hesitation. Therefore, he makes a decision in his heart. When Fan Siyuan and others attack, Xiao Yang drags his weak body and quickly flies away slowly outside the city. "Want to go? Stop him." Fan Siyuan uttered a startling drink. The 2 people behind him were shocked, and their speed suddenly accelerated, so they wanted to rush forward. "Drink." While Qi Ming and Huolai came forward, Han Dong suddenly rushed forward and tried his best to stop them. On the other hand, Yang He and his 3 men intend to bypass Fan Siyuan and others and chase Xiao Yang directly. Aware of the actions of Yang He and others, Han Dong's face changed and wanted to dodge and retreat. However, Fan Siyuan appeared in front of him like a ghost and blew out his palm, trying to stop him. However, bang! Han Dong didn't have any escape. He blocked the blow with his body. At the same time, with the help of this force, Han Dong's blood-stained body quickly came to Yang his 3 people, fighting for flesh and blood, and forcibly resisted them. In this way, the 6 9-star fighting emperors were blocked in front of the city gate by Han Dong at the cost of his own body. At this time, Xiao Yang also gradually disappeared. Soon, Xiao Yang was far away from the scope of Jin Yaocheng. Gradually far away from the rear, there will be an unclear dull crashing sound from time to time. Xiao Yang's heart trembles unceasingly. It's not hard to imagine what price you paid for a Xiao Yang and Han Dong. With the cultivation of the 7-star fighting emperor, the secret method and the body of flesh and blood, Han Dong gave Xiao Yang enough time to leave. Xiao Yang can only hope now, just as Han Dong said, they dare not really kill him, otherwise once Han Dong dies, Xiao Yang will fight everything. No matter what the price, he must pay the price of life for what the 6 9-star fighting emperors have done today. Xiao Yang has never been a narrow-minded person, but he will never be stingy in revenge. However, Xiao Yang's primary task now is to leave here. Otherwise, once Fan Siyuan and others catch up, won't Han Dong's hard work be wasted? Soon, Xiao Yang's body appeared over a mountain forest. Although Jin Yaocheng behind him can't be seen from here, Xiao Yang doesn't intend to stop. He must ensure his own safety. Otherwise, under the exploration of the 9-star fighting emperor, he can't hide after all. Besides, Fan Siyuan is still a 4th-level array mage whose soul power is far better than that of him. Xiao Yang's body slowly flied forward without stopping. The pill in his body was still recovering the injury in his body. At the same time, he was angry and injected into the cyclone at a slow speed. This feeling that he couldn't make ends meet really made Xiao Yang feel hard. Xiao Yang, who was eager to leave here, never found it from the beginning to the end. On the void far behind him, a figure dressed in yellow robe was quietly following. The palm under the sleeve robe held a simple scroll, the old man's palm stroked it slowly, the scarlet tongue licked his lips, and a pair of snake-like cold eyes looked at the direction Xiao Yang left. A greedy color gushed from the bottom of my eyes. Although he saw the frightening scene with his own eyes, under the trend of greed, the old man quietly kept up with Xiao Yang, who left safely. Boy, you are seriously injured now. I don't believe it. Can you recreate a fire lotus like that? Gaga, gaga. An hour passed quickly, and until this time, Xiao Yang, who flew forward slowly, finally landed in the mountains and forests below. Sitting on the trunk of a huge tree, Xiao Yang flexed his fingers and called the North King out. He stood aside. Then, Xiao Yang quickly took out 2 4th-order pills from the ring and swallowed them without hesitation. After a short time, the huge effect of the 4th-order pill immediately showed up. Under this huge power, the damaged meridians and bones in Xiao Yang's body recovered rapidly with the naked eye. Of course, minor injuries are easy to recover, but those injured internal organs need time to run in before they can recover slowly. In just a quarter of an hour, the injury in Xiao Yang's body had gradually stabilized, and a fighting spirit flowed rapidly between the meridians, and then merged into the cyclone. Xiao Yang's pale face turned slightly, and the originally weak breath was filled with it, but it would take a long time to recover from the peak. However, when Xiao Yang was recovering from his injury, a figure dressed in yellow robes appeared suddenly like a ghost in the void not far away. Under the yellow robe, a pair of shadowy eyes covered in the shadow stared at Xiao Yang in an instant, like 2 invisible sharp arrows penetrating the void, but in an instant, they had appeared in front of Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang sighed. The North King, who was still suddenly stepped out and blocked Xiao Yang behind him with his body, and the 2 invisible sharp arrows collided with the North King's chest full of metal texture. The invisible arrow left 2 shallow dents on the North King's chest, followed by recovery. Almost at the same time, the North King's cold and empty eyes also fell on the man in yellow robe. What a strange puppet. Under the yellow robe, the shadowy old eyes stared at the North King, and they were surprised. At this time, Xiao Yang behind the North King also withdrew from the cultivation state, and continued to refine the pills in his body. A pair of dark eyes also looked at the yellow-robed figure in the sky at the same time. I don't know who you are. We seem to have never met. His eyes swept up and down the yellow-robed man. Xiao Yang could immediately determine that he was not from the Array Mage Association. Oh, indeed, as you said, we never met. Under the yellow robe, the slightly hoarse old voice slowly spits out, and there is a taste of banter in the words. If you haven't met, you will show up at this time. Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed, and a trace of dignity poured into his heart. It can be said that he had just come out of the tiger's mouth and entered the wolf's nest. Unexpectedly, someone else would come up with his idea. His mind moved, and the fighting spirit that had not recovered much from the cyclone in his body was running quietly. Although he was deeply hurt, with the only soul power left, Xiao Yang could also distinguish the cultivation achievements of the people in front of him. In the later period of the 8-star Do Emperor, such strength is no less than that of the Wujishan of Jan Wuzong. So it seems that although this person's cultivation is less than the 9-star fighting emperor, it can be regarded as a particularly difficult existence among the high-level fighting emperor strong men. Sir, do you remember that you won a dragon scale fruit at the auction before? Under the yellow robe, the old man's slightly low voice came. As soon as he said this, Xiao Yang immediately frowned, and the picture of that time also appeared in his mind. Indeed, because of Xiao Yang's action, 10 bottles of ice spirit cold liquid successfully photographed the dragon scales and fruits, but therefore, it offended the forces in the box. It turned out that it was the old man in yellow robe in front of him. Are you here for dragon scales and fruits? Before, but now it's not. The yellow-robed old man sneered and said. Or, more than that. At the moment when the words fell, the old man raised his dark eyes and stared at Xiao Yang like a sharp arrow. The greedy look in his eyes was not concealed at all. Dragon scale fruit? That's it. For a long time, Xiao Yang took out a jade box. After opening it, an oval fruit was exposed to the air. It's the dragon scale fruit. At the moment of seeing the dragon scale fruit, the look on the old man's face in yellow robe couldn't help but be moved by it. His dry palm quickly stretched out, stared greedily at the fruit in Xiao Yang's hand, and shouted in a gloomy tone. Boy, hand it over. I can make you die happier. Who said I would give it to you? Xiao Yang sneered. He took out the dragon scale fruit, but he didn't intend to give it to him. Boy, I've seen the previous war. I've seen your fighting power in my life. I have to say that if you were at the peak, I really didn't dare to fight you, but you'd better see clearly now. With your seriously injured body, do you think you can still hold it? The yellow-robed old man first gave a solemn praise, but then he sneered. Or are you going to use it to threaten me? You can try it. I promise you will die miserably. The outstretched palm slowly clenched, and the invisible void twisted between the palms of the yellow-robed old man, and then collapsed with a bang and turned into endless darkness. Hearing the old man's words, Xiao Yang sneered. His eyes turned to the dragon scales and fruits in front of him, and his heart was more determined. Seeing that you want this dragon scale fruit so much, I think you should also be a physical cultivator. So what? The old man in yellow robe frowned and felt a little bad in his heart. In that case, let me see who has better physical strength between you and me. He gave a cold drink in a low voice. Then, in the unbelievable eyes of the old man in yellow robe opposite, Xiao Yang grabbed the dragon scales and fruits in front of him and swallowed them with a big mouth. At the moment of the entrance of the dragon scale fruit, it turned into a huge fiery energy and poured into the latter's body along Xiao Yang's throat. Boom! On the trunk, Xiao Yang's body shook uncontrollably. In an instant, a terrible heat wave hit, and the surrounding mountains and forests were razed to the ground in an instant. At the same time, there was a painful roar from Xiao Yang's mouth. The roar was like thunder, moving heaven and earth, which frightened the warcraft in the mountain and forest. At this moment, with the strength of the old man in yellow robe, Rao couldn't help but change his face slightly. His fighting spirit gushed out of his body and resisted the terrible heat wave. Then, he turned his dignified eyes to the latter, which also contained a deep and unbelievable spirit. No matter how he thought, Xiao Yang in front of him would swallow the dragon scale fruit crazily. You know, the dragon scale fruit contains the power of ancient dragon. Even at the peak, he can only refine slowly by external force. The result is unimaginable. This madman, what's the difference between this practice and self-explosion? Damn it, we shouldn't give him more opportunities to talk. At this time, the old man in yellow robe was full of remorse. If time could go back, he would definitely kill Xiao Yang at the first time. Unfortunately, it's too late to think about it now. The terrible energy was moving around in Xiao Yang's body. The huge force seemed to flow into every cell in Xiao Yang's body purposefully, but in the twinkling of an eye, Xiao Yang's body expanded several times. The whole body looks like the red color of fire. The bulging body seems transparent. Through the skin, you can even see the blood flowing under it. However, at the moment, even those blood seemed to be boiling. Xiao Yang's face was in pain, his body was red, and his face looked almost crazy. He kept roaring in his mouth until he was almost hoarse. At the moment, his dark eyes became scarlet, his eyes were extremely wide, and his round eyes seemed to fall from his eyes. When he saw them, he felt a chill rise in his heart. The huge power runs wildly in the body, through flesh and blood, through internal organs and through bones, completely occupying every inch of Xiao Yang's body. That's it. Xiao Yang's body is still expanding, and it seems that it may explode at any time. Roar. Until a certain moment, Xiao Yang's throat roared like a beast again. His swollen palms suddenly clenched and his mind forcibly controlled his body. His huge body suddenly shook. Behind him, a slightly illusory body suddenly rose from the ground to 100 feet high. Its force image. The virtual shadow condensed, and the huge force in Xiao Yang's body suddenly seemed to have a place to return. It poured out fiercely and entered the virtual shadow behind Xiao Yang. However, in an instant, the original illusory body quickly solidified, and the fiery red color filled the whole body. The huge power was still pouring in, and the figure condensed by the power image was rising again under this huge power. Until now, Xiao Yang was frightened to find that even Li Xiangjue could not bear this huge force. Even the power image is about to explode by this power. At that time, once the force image is determined to explode, the damage will be fed back to Xiao Yang, so the outcome can be imagined. At this time, Xiao Yang was full of fear. He didn't expect that the dragon scale fruit would have such terrible power. Now it seems that he is afraid that he will inevitably die under this huge power. Damn it, how could this happen? The bottom of Xiao Yang's heart is unwilling to roar, but now the situation has reached an irreparable situation. Even if he tries his best, he can't control this force. As for the old man in yellow robe, he hid far away. In front of this huge power, even he dare not face it lightly. Therefore, he can only look at Xiao Yang's situation from a distance and hope to leave some valuable things after the explosion of the latter. But unfortunately, what he thought in his heart was doomed to fail to come true smoothly. Just when Xiao Yang felt that he could no longer bear this force, in his internal blood, the dragon phoenix blood belonging to the Taishu ancient dragon family suddenly woke up at this moment. Drink. For a moment, Xiao Yang roared up to the sky and sent out an earth-shaking dragon roar, which made the warcraft in the mountain forest surrender. In this howling, these warcraft can clearly feel the pressure from their blood, which makes them unable to resist at all, as if they can control their life and death as long as their mind moves. It is an absolute power, an absolute deterrent, and a symbol of status. At the same time, on the sky, the old man in yellow robe stared at Xiao Yang's eyes, which also contracted suddenly, and his heart was shocked. At the moment, on Xiao Yang's body, pieces of purple and gold dragon scales quickly covered the latter's body, and both hands turned into dragon claws. The purple and gold dragon scales covered Xiao Yang's earlobes. The dragon scales all over the body emit a special purple light, and the blood vessels of the dragon phoenix in the body seem to be alive at the moment. They turn into purple golden blood dragons, which flow rapidly in Xiao Yang's blood vessels. The huge suction force gushed out of these blood dragons, but in an instant, the excess part of the terrorist power brought by the dragon scales and fruits to Xiao Yang was absorbed by them. Absorbed the power of those dragon scales and fruits, the blood of the dragon phoenix seemed to become more powerful, and the sound of the dragon roar became more powerful and domineering, while Xiao Yang's huge body swelled because of those energy also recovered to the original volume in an instant. The dragon scales covered all over his body disappeared. Looking at the scars on Xiao Yang, he recovered. Although the injuries in his body were still there, I don't know why. After the dragon scales were swallowed by Xiao Yang, his recovery speed seemed to speed up a lot. Although the injuries were still serious, Xiao Yang was no longer worried at all. In addition, there is another place worthy of Xiao Yang's surprise. The power image resolution, washed by the terrible power just now, condensed into an entity in an instant, which shows that Xiao Yang's power image resolution has been greatly achieved now. Although Xiao Yang's fighting spirit is vain at the moment, Dacheng's power image decision makes Xiao Yang feel a strong power that does not depend on fighting spirit. He just felt that his body was full of power at the moment. That power made him too excited, so he needed to vent. In the void, Xiao Yang stood upright, his pale face was full of confident smile, his eyes fell, staring at the old man in yellow robe, and his heart was joking. Previously, this guy kept saying that he wanted to kill himself. Now Xiao Yang is curious. If they fight, how many rounds can the old man in yellow robe hold in front of them? With a cold smile in his heart, Xiao Yang suddenly stepped on the void with the soles of his feet. His seemingly thin body was like a shell. At the speed of lightning, he rushed towards the incredible old man in yellow robe. This video will end here.